Well, that's untrue,
All
man.
right, what's up, brother, man? I'm in the building with my man David Weiss, DITRH, the flat Earth theory. We've been talking about this. He said he has 100% proof that the Earth is flat. We're gonna learn all about it. Give it to me, baby.
Well, I have. What I'm going to show you today is that we're not on a spinning, wobbling, orbiting, rocketing water ball rocket in an infinite vacuum. I mean, people, the idea of what the flat Earth is incorrect, and people don't even understand what the globe model is because we're not really taught. I mean, and I'm going to ask you some questions that I did not know the answer to when I was first asked. How fast is the Earth spinning in the heliocentric model? 1,000 miles an hour. That's 1.5 times the speed of sound. Okay, so when you're watching the sunset, you have to believe that you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, which is making the sun appear to go down. Okay, it's also orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles per hour. That's unfathomable. And it's chasing the sun, which is flying through the galaxy at over 500,000 miles an hour, while the entire galaxy is going sideways at over 1,000,000 miles per hour. So we're moving in 4 directions at once. And what do we experience? What do you experience when you go outside? Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying what's up to some of the folks in the chat room. Some of my friends and my families just popped up. How you doing, Rosie Pie? Tamara, what's up, everybody? We got an interesting guest in the building today, my brother David Weiss. How you pronounce your last name, my brother?
Weiss.
And
yeah.
Last time we was in this, we was talking with Dr. Charnel, and we were talking about the flat Earth theory. Of course, it was Jason Q who started this whole conversation about the flat Earth theory. And so David Weiss is here to seal the deal and confirm all of these truths that the Earth is flat. We live on a plate. We're living on a plate in space. All right,
not true. False. The Earth is not a disc in space. That's what they want people to believe. If you go search flat Earth, you end up at the Flat Earth Society, which shows you a heliocentric solar system with a flat Earth in the middle. Okay, that's not what this is at all. Planets, as described, are not as described. Planets are just lights in the sky within the Earth system. The Earth is the basement of the universe. That's the only way I can describe it. We live in the Antarctic basin. Okay, the shoreline that surrounds the world ocean is Antarctica, and what's beyond that shoreline is off limits to people. We can get into that. I know that we're limited on time here. And everything that we see in the sky is within the Earth system. If you go outside, clear head, forget the lifelong indoctrination, and look up at the planets that you see in the sky, the lights, the moon, the sun, you can see that they're within the Earth system. They're not millions and millions of miles away. We're told that the sun is 93 million miles away. That's ridiculous. So, all of our senses, all of our God-given senses tell us that we are stationary. We're not moving. Everything, people say, well, what about, we've been indoctrinated with these programmed questions. Boats over the horizons, Sticks and Shadows by Aristophanes 500 years ago. Circumnavigation, you can't circumnavigate. Those are the top 3, and I could address those. Ready? So circumnavigation.
You got to slow it down.
Yeah. Dude, I know you told me we had maybe 30 minutes, and so now you got me.
We got to go over a little bit, my brother, but
Why don't let me share my screen, and I'll give you guys a 2-minute tutorial of what flat Earth is, and then you can throw questions at me. How's that?
I appreciate it, but can I just ask you a question if that's okay with you? Is that
absolutely?
Right,
yeah, any questions you want.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it, brother. As my guest, I appreciate you. Now let me ask you a question. Okay, why is this deception here? Because that's a huge deception. I mean, if you talk about deception, I mean, you're talking about
the mother of all deceptions.
All deception has a reason and a purpose, and I think that's the part that we don't hear much about. We hear, okay, the Earth is flat. I'm like, okay, well, Why do they need to deceive us about the Earth being flat? What are they taking from us? What are we missing?
They're taking God from us.
So God is not involved if the Earth is round.
So, well, hold on. So if you believe in the heliocentric model, the story is you believe that once there was nothing, it exploded, created everything in a vacuum, and then all of the rocks and dirt coalesced into rocky balls, and all of the gases coalesced into burning giant balls and left a vacuum in between them. And then lightning struck on a rocky ball, created an amoeba, which is impossible. It mutated into a fish that grew legs, climbed out of the water, found another fish, had sex, had a monkey, and that monkey had a baby, and it was a human. You believe that, okay, which is impossible. It's complete and utter nonsense. And you also believe that you are on a insignificant speck with trillions and trillions of other insignificant specks flying through a godless, or at best, distant god universe. Out of control, where an asteroid could hit, we're going to run out of fuel, global warming, nuclear bombs, all of this stuff, in fear your entire life, not knowing who you are, where you are, what you are. When the truth is, we are the center of creation. We are on a place that was created for us by a creator, okay? And we are designed to be here, having a soul's journey in this place. And if the evil, the devil, whatever you want to label it, that is deceiving us with this heliocentric soul lure system to steal our soul away, they're hiding God. That's what they're doing. That's why. So it's the biggest why, and it's the strongest answer that you could go. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me just challenge you a little bit.
Shoot.
The Earth is round, and tons of people believe in God, including me. So
yeah.
I managed to believe in God with the Earth being round. Are you trying to tell me that if the Earth is round, people won't believe in God, or what are we missing?
Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, you believe in God, and that's awesome. They want to stop as many people as possible from believing in God. They want to hide God. They want to make it like, check this out. I was, for lack of a better term, an atheist. I believed in evolution, science, the whole thing, the ball Earth, and flat Earth was thrown at me, and I wouldn't even look at it. And then I was dragged in kicking and screaming by another researcher that I respected, and she made me look, and I spent weeks and weeks trying to prove the globe. And I came out the other end going, oh crap, we don't live on a spinning ball. Then that told me we live in a place that is designed for us. Therefore,
that's what I'm trying to get at, my brother. That's what I'm trying to understand. How does the flatness evoke God? Like, just break that down to me.
Yeah, well, once you understand what the flat Earth is, you can tell that it's not a random accident, that it is designed.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
The sky is a perfect clock. Let me show you just a demonstration. I'll keep it as short as possible, and then you can understand, and then you could ask me some questions, because you should have many questions. I don't want anyone to walk away from this going, hey, he's right. I just want to point to some doors and show you that there's information behind there, and you can go look, right?
Okay.
So this is what the flat Earth looks like, right? And it just the white disc, the white ring represents the shoreline of Antarctica for the world ocean. What's beyond this, we don't know. So this is just a background. Here's a better background. Hold on. That'll just make you understand a little bit better. Hold on. Here we go. Where is it? There we go. So all of this outside the ring is Antarctica. Okay. So this is the shoreline of Antarctica, right? So the sun goes around once every 24 hours, and the sun goes a little bit faster than the moon, and it laps the moon once every 28 days, which shows us all the phases of the moon. Okay. So when they're opposed to each other, we have a full moon, and then it goes back. If I slow it down, the stars, so the moon marks the months, the sun marks the days, the hours and the days, and the stars mark the seasons. The stars rotate, the constellations rotate slightly faster than the sun. They lap the sun only once a year. Okay, so we're moving into this constellation. Next month we'll be in this constellation because it's catching up to the sun. It's just moving a slightly faster. And that's how the sun is in these constellations, how the constellations never change year after year, decade after decade, century after century. The stars are in the exact same position. If we lived in that spinning, twirling, whirling, orbiting rocket ship that I described at the beginning, the stars wouldn't be the same from night to night. They'd change every single day, but they never change, right? So how does circumnavigation work? If I turn on the compass feature, this is a compass, okay? The North Pole is at the center of the flat Earth, right? So if I'm here in the United States and I decide I want to go to the Philippines, I can go north, 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 north over Alaska. Now I'm still going in a straight line, but now I'm going south. South is every direction away, and I'm in the Philippines, okay? Or I could take off from here and I could set my compass to 270 degrees west. And if I follow my compass and I dead reckon, I'm going in a circle because my compass always needs to point towards the north. So my compass, when I think I'm going straight, is taking me in a circle. This does not prove the Earth is flat because it's the same on a ball Earth. If I go east, 90 degrees east, it takes me around this way, equidistant from the north, right? What's interesting is on a ball, you should be able to go south, like from the tip of Santiago, you should be able to go south, cross Antarctica and pop up over in New Zealand, or off of Johannesburg and pop over in New Zealand. I said Australia, but New Zealand, but Australia meant. So you should be able to pop around, but nobody has circumnavigated heading south. That's interesting, okay? Now that doesn't prove that the Earth is a ball. It just proves that nobody's done it, which leads towards the flat Earth. So circumnavigation only happens east and west. Of course, you can cross over the middle. You're not allowed to go over directly over the middle. That's another story. So that's how circumnavigation happens. Time zones. If you look right now, it's 6 a.m. in Eastern Australia. It's 10 p.m. in Johannesburg, South Africa. You know, it's I'm here in the East Coast. It's 3 p.m. right here in the East Coast. Wherever the sun is 12 noon. So it's 12 noon in California. And the sun and seasons happen by the sun migrates from this inner yellow line, which is the Tropic of Cancer, to the outer yellow line, which is the Tropic of Capricorn. So if I jump forward 1 month, the sun is now December 25th. It's right over the Tropic of Capricorn. The outer southern lands are having their summer, and we're having our winter because the sun is far from us, right? And if I jump forward 6 months, the sun ends up on June over the Tropic of Cancer. We're having our inner northern summer, and the outer south is having their winter because the sun is farther from them, right? Last thing on this, if you try to search after this is over and you say, okay, I'm going to look into flat Earth, you Google flat Earth on YouTube, anywhere, you're going to end up at the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is a government-controlled disinformation site. If you Google pictures of flat Earth, you get all the pictures come from the Flat Earth Society. No flat earther believes any of the stuff on the Flat Earth Society. They say gravity is because the Earth is rising at 9.8 meters per second. That's not true. If you ask me to send you a video on how seasons work, the next video that would come up will be a propaganda video. But this app, if you hit the frequently asked questions, comes with all of the information, all of the stuff bypassing the YouTube algorithms, like where's the edge, or what about gravity, or why the lie. If I click why the lie, up comes a video on why the lie and a whole bunch of other videos that if you take the time to watch.
Hold on 1 second, brother. I didn't know you had your screen right here.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen any of what I've been showing?
Holy smokes, brother. I'm new to this, man.
All right.
People in the chat room, shout out to my boy Daryl, man. Darren. I'm sorry, Dan. Sorry, guys. I'm new to this whole thing, and he's been sending this to me, man. But before you, can you just give us a quick run over to get one more time? I just want to ask you shorter. I'll say the same thing again, right? Real quick. Hold on. I want to ask you one question.
Go ahead.
Because I'm a slow learner, man, and I'm a learner, not a teacher. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a
learner. That's all it takes is honesty and the willingness to admit that you've been deceived. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so here's my question. Okay, you was talking about the sun, the moon, the stars in relationship to the Bible, and how they're described as they were created with the purpose of for signs and seasons, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
The sky clock.
So a sky clock, a galactic clock. Okay, so are you trying to tell me that the galactic clock is null and void if the Earth is a globe, but if the Earth is flat, then it works? Is that what you're trying to
think about this? NASA, on computer models, they have a thing called the three-body problem. You can model gravity in a computer graphic where you say, all right, we've got this ball, it's the sun, it's got this much gravity, and you got the Earth, it's got this much gravity, and the computer will model the orbit beautifully. Add a third body in there, or 20 other bodies like we have in our solar system, and the model goes haywire because the gravities keep tugging on each other and pull everything out of sequence. The sky is a perfect clock. Eclipses happen on a perfect cycle of 18 and a half years, give or take a few months. They repeat themselves, right? That's impossible in a heliocentric, gravity random universe. None of it makes any sense. They fooled us by making the clock 12 hours go around twice, when in fact it goes around once every 24 hours. Like
let me ask you another question. You said that the Earth is on the floor of the universe. You said the Earth is like at the basement of the universe. So what's under? Is just nothing? Are you trying to?
Yeah. So do you want me to stop sharing, or you want me to finish this, or just keep it going?
Yeah, you just answer my question.
Yeah,
and then you can go
my answer is nobody knows on the flat Earth or the globe Earth, because the deepest hole ever dug is called the Great Borehole in China, in Russia. Multiple countries worked on it simultaneously, and they got down just short of 8 miles, where they hit an impenetrable barrier. And they tried blowing it up and drilling through it, and nothing for years. They could not get below 8 miles. That's equivalent. If the Earth was an apple, they got halfway through the skin of the apple, just the skin, right? And by the way, when they were drilling or digging, they were using ground penetrating radar to see what they were going to dig next, and they were wrong every step of the way. There's no more water, then they hit water. There's no more rocks, they hit rocks, right? They were wrong every step of the way. And so they hit this impenetrable barrier, but all of a sudden they know what the core of the Earth looks like. We've all seen that, that shot from in every textbook showing the molten core. Nobody knows what's below 8 miles. So what is below the flat Earth? What is the Earth sitting on? I have no idea.
Okay.
Nobody does.
All right, so I'm ready, mate.
The Bible says it's sitting on pillars.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, so the people in the chat just saying, if you don't mind, just running back your presentation.
Yeah, okay. So real quick, the sun goes around once every 24 hours, and it laps the moon every 28 days. Okay, so that's how the seasons happen. If I turn on the stars, these are the constellations. The constellations are going slightly faster than the sun, and right now we're in this constellation. In a month, this one will catch up to the sun, and then this one will catch up, and then Pisces will catch up. So it takes a year for the constellation to lap the sun. The sky is a perfect clock. The sun marks the days and hours. The moon marks the months, and the stars mark the seasons. Okay, so from there, we can look at if I turn on the world time. Right now, it's 6 a.m. in Eastern Australia. It's 10 p.m. in Johannesburg. Right here, I'm in New York, 3 p.m. It's noon in California. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. So you can check these everywhere. All of these times and dates and positions are right. Right now, I'm on the East Coast. The moon is going to be rising very soon because it's getting within my range to see it. So I know to go look over at the horizon because it's telling me that the moon is rising, and it is rising. Let me show you another thing on here. If the Earth is rotating at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, like they say, this is the real-time wind charts. And if you look at these outer winds right here, the pink and red, these winds are going 200 to 300 miles per hour. Okay, at 40,000 feet. Okay, 200 to 300 miles per hour. The problem is the Earth is spinning in that same direction. So these winds are outrunning the spin of the Earth. if anything, if what the globe says is that gravity is holding on to the atmosphere and it's spinning with the Earth, it would lag behind at a higher altitude, because just to keep up with the Earth, it would have to go faster than 1,000 miles per hour, but it's outrunning it. That's impossible. That's impossible. All right. So on here, we have the frequently asked questions, right? Where's the edge? What about gravity? What about southern flights? And why the lie? If I click why the lie, up comes a list. Here's all the videos. It takes time to learn about flat Earth, but the globe has a big advantage over flat Earth. It's easy. You believe it. You were told it. Guy in a bow tie told you it was true, and you're done. You can go take a nap, drink a beer. It doesn't matter. You want to learn about flat Earth, you have to critically think. You have to not fear ridicule, not fear going against the majority, and take the time to learn. Don't believe me. I'm just showing you guys. So last thing is the seasons. If I jump the sun forward one more month, it jumps out to the Tropic of Capricorn. And so as it goes around, the outer lands have their summer. If I jump it forward 6 months, it goes all the way to the Tropic of Cancer. And that's the height of our summer, because the sun is closer to us in the inner north, right? It makes perfect sense by our observations, by our weather. If in the app, what about seasons? Where's what about seasons? Whatever. What about seasons will destroy the globe. Seasons make absolutely no sense on a globe once you understand how they work. So this thing is called, and this is the app I made. I'm not here to sell apps. I'm here to turn you guys on to truth. But if you try to find it yourself, you're going to get led down many rabbit holes by the elite that'll just steer you away from the truth. It's called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's $2.99. It's a one-time fee. And when you get it, you will get a pop-up that says, would you like to donate for 99 cents? Do not donate for 99 cents unless you want to. You still get everything. It only shows up once every 24 hours, and you can exit out immediately. Still get everything. Do not donate.
So let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question now.
Please.
I mean, because I don't know if it's, and I'm not debating it, because maybe the earth is flat. Okay, so my thing is this, right? I still manage to believe in God if the earth is round.
Well,
all right, but my thing is this. I'm trying to figure out what is the deception, what is the lie, like what besides the earth being round versus flat. Now here's the thing. Are there any pictures? We've seen a lot of pictures from space of a round earth. Yeah. Here's the earth. This is 2 shots from NASA, 2012 and 2020 or 2002. And if you look, the United States here is less than half the size of over here. Okay, right? Less than half the size. But if you think about it, the bigger one, if this is the United States and I tilted it back, it gets smaller. It's still over twice the size. This is a painting. You also have to believe that every other continent on the world is on the other side of this. Every other continent on the world is outside of that circle. That's what we see in that circle, right? And all those other continents are on the other side. That's complete and total nonsense. All right, complete and total nonsense. Here's 2 pictures of Jupiter. Okay, 2014 and 2016. In 2016, they took a picture of these amazing auroras. Now, I don't have Photoshop experience, but I could do that in 30 seconds, and I could do it better. But here's the funny thing: this is a gassy planet where they show us that the winds are blowing and all this stuff. If you overlay these two images, they're the exact same image. Just the 2014 one is a little bit lighter, right? You put them over, every single ripple is the same. NASA is lying. They're faking space. The only images we have of space come from NASA and Disney. And at this point, Disney is more credible. This is the image that was on our iPhones, right? This is the blue marble, right? NASA admits that they have a visual artist that admitted how he made this in Photoshop. But if you look at the
the clouds, they're stepped and repeated. They're the same freaking clouds. And he admitted that he made this. He added the colors, added the clouds, he did it from strips of data. This is not a photograph. And NASA admits they have no photographs. They will never use the word photo when they always use the word picture or image, right?
So are you saying that there's no photos of the flat Earth that exists?
Hold on. There's no photos of the globe Earth. I'll give you a photo of the flat Earth. But here's the thing is, if you had a room with a 10-foot high ceiling that was 10 miles wide, could you take a picture of the whole room? Absolutely not. You can't. So it's difficult to get a picture. But here's a balloon shot at 120,000 feet, which is about as high as we can get these balloons. The Earth is completely flat. There's no curvature. We can see too far, and that's it. I mean, the sun that we see is local. You know, here's a shot of NASA. Did you know that NASA has their training facility? It's called the National Buoyancy Lab or something like that, and they have a replica of the space station inside a swimming pool with green screens in the swimming pool. You know what happens? You can take that picture from that was taken in a swimming pool in the NASA training center. They are lying to us on levels that you can't believe. I can show you on the app.
Why though? Why are they lying to us? That's all I want to know. I just want to know, why are they lying to us?
So this is hard for a lot of people to grasp. They're lying to us because they're hiding. Look, I'm on the space station. They fake floating on the space station. It's insanity, right? They're lying to us.
yo, you is crazy. All right.
So you keep asking the same question. I'm going to answer it again. They're lying to us to hide God. For not everyone is going to be. There's a lot of people that have found God. I found God because of the flat Earth. All right. They're hiding. If everyone woke up to the world is intelligently created and not a random accident, everybody would find God. Okay.
So by understanding that the Earth is flat,
by understanding that it's intelligently designed. The shape doesn't matter.
Let me just finish, Dave.
Sorry, man.
By understanding that the Earth is flat, we would more clearly see God's work versus the sphere.
They're hiding. Sorry, are you done?
I'm done.
They're hiding God's creation. And I believe it says in the Bible something about, if you don't appreciate God's creation, that's blasphemy or whatever. Don't quote me on that. I'm not the Bible guy. My co-host on the Flat Earth podcast, Matt Long, he comes from the Bible side of the fence. He knows all of this. There's 200 verses in the Bible that refer to a stationary flat Earth. There's only 2 verses in the Bible. I think it's Isaiah and Job. I don't know the exact verses that talks about the circle of the Earth. Well, my table is a circle. Okay. We see in a circle, right? So they never say sphere. They never say ball. They never say planet. And when you look at the Bible with new eyes, you'll see that it's a flat Earth book, along with the Quran and many
others.
So
is it a flat circle? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, no, I'm saying that the Earth is, we live in the Antarctic basin. What they don't teach us is, you've heard of the ice wall. It's not like the ice wall on the Game of Thrones. It's the shoreline of Antarctica. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. When you get to Antarctica, which surrounds the world ocean, there's a 200 plus foot high cliff of ice. You get to the top of that, there's an ice plain that goes on for several hundred miles, and then at around 80 degrees south, there's a mountain range that's taller than Everest. Okay, right? And perhaps that's where the dome comes down to that mountain range. But Antarctica is independent exploration of Antarctica is off limits to everyone. In 1957 or 59, whatever the year was, the UN got together. Every nation in the world, all the UN nations signed on to the Antarctic Treaty and said, we have to protect the penguins and the ice. Nobody could drop a cigarette down here. It needs to be pristine. Nobody can go there until 2041. You can't even question the treaty until 2041, right? 2041, right? But meanwhile, we can cut down the Amazon and plant palm oil trees, right? It's complete and total nonsense, because if we were allowed to explore Antarctica, we would find out we don't live on a prison planet ball, right? All of those spinning motions and this perfectly still water, right? If you
we thought
moved
that was
us in
because of
any
gravity. Like I thought that was because of gravity that we have everything stays to the surface of the earth.
makes no sense. So, how does the air stay to the earth and not get sucked into the vacuum of space when I could take a straw and suck water or air up and away with the light vacuum of my mouth or lungs, right? Just a little pull.
That's a good point.
What?
Well, that's a good. Well, I don't know, but didn't Einstein come up with the theory of?
Einstein is a moron. He married his cousin. He was inserted to hide the ether because people were finding out that the ether existed, and they stuck Einstein in with his relativity nonsense and touted him as the smartest guy in the world, when Einstein himself said Nikola Tesla is the smartest man in the world.
So did Tesla agree with this theory of the flat earth?
Tesla knew that we lived in a realm. Absolutely. There's a quote. It's disputed whether he said it or not, but he said the earth is not a ball or something like that, but it's a realm. So here's the thing. The earth is measurably flat, hills and valleys, mountains and plains and everything. There is no curvature to be found. The earth is 70% water. Water at rest lays flat. If the earth is 24,901 miles around, like they explain, there's a curvature formula. At 3 miles, the drop is 6 feet. So a 6 foot tall man at the edge of the water should not be able to see any water past 3 miles because it's dropping over the curve. But we could put a camera at 1 foot off the ground where the curvature should start at under 2 miles, and we could see wind turbines at known distances and oil rigs at known distances, 10, 20 plus miles away. And not only can we see them completely, we can see the water surface far beyond them, which shows there is no curvature. No curvature, no ball. Right.
So what would mark the edge of the earth? And if that's the case, if the earth is flat, then there should be an edge.
So here's Antarctica, the shoreline, right? No one's allowed to go beyond this lit up area. Okay, that's it. So what's hundreds of miles that way? We don't know. It's off limits. Now this is depicting a dome that comes down. Now I can't say what the dome is made of, but you can't have high pressure. Our system, high pressure, next to a vacuum without a physical barrier.
So are you saying that the Earth is surrounded by Antarctica and Antarctica is not in the middle?
No, and Antarctica is supposedly at the bottom of the ball, a continent at the bottom of the ball, but it's not. And if you circumnavigated Antarctica on the ball, it's 13,000 miles. Nobody circumnavigates Antarctica. Captain Cook tried it. It took him 3 years. He went almost 80,000 miles. 80,000 miles because he was going all the way around. Right? It's not at the bottom of the ball, right? So, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's all very interesting. Again, there's so much information. It's not even a question. What's funny is inside I laugh at people that believe in the globe, just like people at the globe laugh at flat earthers. It's become so ridiculous that once you see it, you actually can't believe that you ever fell for this nonsense. But it's not your fault. You were indoctrinated before you can talk. Sesame Street had astronauts and the Yip Yaps talking, with the moon and the earth, and every movie, Universal Pictures in 1927, I think, had a spinning globe with a layout of all of the continents on it. When NASA, we've never gone up, how did they know? And then when NASA finally went up, it matched what Universal Pictures had, right? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's insane. The lie is so deep. It's hard. People say, well, what about Felix Baumgarten? Look at the curve of the earth from there. That's at 138,000 feet, okay? That's at 138,000 feet. Look at all of this. This is all New Mexico, planet New Mexico, right? And he went up for 3.5 hours. Right? The earth is spinning to the east. So he should have landed out in the ocean. Okay? 1,000 miles an hour. He should have been 3,000 miles out in the ocean. But he landed eastward. He landed a couple hundred miles east. He somehow outran the spin of the earth and landed east of where he took off. All insanity. That's at 138,000 feet. This is at 120,000 feet without a fisheye lens. Okay?
I know about the fisheye lens.
Yeah, you know all about it. And if you watch the NASA live feeds from the International Fake Station, you
get some good feedback. You get some good feedback in the chat room.
Yeah.
They said, I believe this guy. So right, Scott.
Yeah, dude, this is what I tell people. I quit. I had my own company. I was making lots of money. Okay. I walked away from it all because this truth at this time is so important. If you don't know where you are, who you are, what you are lost in space and you are unable to make rational decisions. You have given up your divinity to the government. Mind, meant, govern, controlling your mind, right? You have given up your sovereignty. Is that the right word? And you are unable to stop the tyranny that's coming. If you realize, I just went to a Flat Earth conference, 400 people, no masks, and everybody knew what's going on in the world. Everyone knows the insanity that's happening right now. So this topic is very, very important. I don't care about the shape of the Earth. I care about the lie, the globe lie, and the true Earth.
Anybody got any questions in the chat room for David?
I love them. Hardest questions possible.
Anybody got any questions in the chat room? Let's get this thing popping, man.
Yeah.
I've been asking some questions. I'm trying to, I want to believe, my brother. I'm trying to find out what's this conspiracy. So the Earth is flat. Let's go. Give me the questions, man. Let's get this.
And by the way, you don't want to believe. You want to know. You want to know the truth. I'm not telling you what you need. I'm just telling you, I don't want to believe the Earth is flat. I don't want to believe anything. I want to know the truth. And the truth is out there. They tell us what they're doing. Obama mentioned flat Earth 6 times during his presidency, during speeches. He mentioned the Flat Earth Society 6 times.
Well, I mean, he's given us some really good evidence. I mean, you can't say that he's not giving us evidence. He's making a lot of sense in terms of what's possible and what's not possible from round Earth, from the sphere Earth perspective is not possible. Certain things in terms of time and distance, it's not possible. That's what you're saying, right?
Right. We can see too far. There is no curvature. The second law of thermodynamics says that you can't have high pressure next to low pressure or vacuum without a physical barrier. Hey, let me give you a 60-second explanation of how we can't see stars if the heliocentric model is true. We're told that many of the stars in the sky are giant suns. Some of them are the same size as our sun. Some are smaller. Okay, so the sun is one of those big yoga balls, those big gym balls, and the Earth is a small marble next to it, right? In the heliocentric model. If the sun came really close to the Earth, it was a mile over our heads, it would fill the entire sky from horizon to horizon. You with me? Mm-hmm. Okay, and now I'm going to move it 1 sun distance away, 93 million miles. It reduced from the entire sky to the size of a dime held at arm's length. Okay, right? That's 1 sun distance away. It went from the entire sky to the size of a dime held at arm's length. If I doubled the distance, how much smaller would it get? If I 8 times the distance, could you still see it? A rational mind would say absolutely not. It would reduce in size too much and you couldn't see it. That's a light hour. 8 times the distance is the light hour. The closest star is 4.5 light years away. This is where your mind shuts down because the numbers are too big. None of it makes any sense. 25 trillion miles, we're told. 25 trillion miles, right? That makes no sense. Let me ask you a question. And people like 25 trillion miles, their mind can't comprehend what that is. How long is 1 trillion seconds? Any idea?
I have no clue.
It's just think about this. This is how big a trillion is. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years.
Right.
The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. You can't see that. All of the lights that we see are within the Earth system. Everything we see in the sky is within the Earth system. Everything is close. Go out when the moon is full or large enough to be bright enough to cast shadows on the ground and light up the clouds. If there's spotted clouds, you'll see that the moon is lighting up just the clouds near it. And all of the other ones are not lit by the moon. If the moon was 238,000 miles away, it would light up all of the clouds evenly. but it's only lighting up the other ones, which tells us the light that we see is literally just above those clouds.
Well, I'm gonna ask the Galactic Federation. I have the direct line to the mothership. So I'm gonna call it Galactic Federation.
Extraterrestrials. Let's talk about extraterrestrials. The words are very important. Extra terra.
Don't tell me that you don't believe in the Galactic Federation, brother.
Maybe they come, but here's where they come. They come from the outer spaces, right? The outer space is beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. All of the giant telescopes in the world are in the south, and they're pointing south. They're not pointing up. They're looking outwards, right? What's going on out there? What if there's more continents out there? What if there's other suns out there? Across the Earth plane? If extraterrestrials, they come from the extra terra in the outer spaces, okay? What if Mars is a sun in the outer space? NASA wouldn't be lying when they're saying they're trying to go to outer space and go to Mars. Extraterrestrials come from the extra terra on Earth. They're human. They probably speak friggin' English.
Well, I'm gonna report you to the Galactic Federation immediately.
Is that the best you have, man? Come on. Is that the best?
They're on your ass now. You fucked up.
I'm not worried.
No, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm swayed. I'm swayed because you make some really, really good points, and then a lot of people in the chat room really agree with you too. I mean, the Earth is flat. I'm looking at the comments in the chat room, and a lot of people really agree with you.
Dude, I've been on the
what's up, Spiritually Raw? We got Spiritually Raw in the building. Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Jay and Alex? I've been on the SGT report multiple times, Veritas Radio, InfoWars, countless other shows, and I'm waking up. Owen Benjamin, I'm waking up their entire audiences. There's millions of people waking up to this, but you have to take the time. And Google, over the last 5 years, has hidden the information. It's almost impossible to find. The app breaks the algorithms, right? $2.99. It's buying me a half a beer, right? And you just watch. Every day there's a new video that shows up in the corner of the app. Every day I put up a new video, and that video will it shows you. I do short ones during the week. Can my screen showing again? Right here, there's short. This video, the International Fake Station, it's showing you probably 15 examples of them faking gravity using cables and CGI, okay? Every day, there's a short video. On the weekends, longer videos. I say, take the Flat Earth app challenge. Watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks, and then you will know. And then the other thing is, this is what happens. They say, hey, I saw you on the so-and-so show, and I bought your stupid app, and I took the challenge, but I didn't want to wait, so I clicked the archive button, which is right here, and that brings you to all of the videos that have been featured over the last 2 years. And they say, I haven't slept in 2 weeks, I'm hungry, my family thinks I'm crazy, holy crap, the Earth is flat, now what do I do? And I say, welcome.
All right, well, I guess that's it, man. The Earth is flat. We gotta.
No. Don't just take a breath. Say, okay, I've got some things to look into. Don't believe this guy. I'm some random guy on the internet.
I believe you, man.
I believe doors for you to go look at.
I believe everything you say.
And prove it yourself. Prove it yourself.
Well, I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, we've been lied to pretty much about everything. So, I mean, why not lie to us about that? I'm just trying to figure out why. But I mean, you made a good point. I guess the creator is. We see him much more clearly if the Earth is flat, I guess.
You know the saying, I think Paul Harvey made it popular, the greatest trick the devil ever did was to make you think he didn't exist. I say the greatest trick the devil ever did was make you think God doesn't exist. Had me for 51 years.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm going to ask the Galactic Federation because they always tell me the truth.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the Galactic Federation. So when we get back together, after I finish talking to the Pleiadians, I'm going to let you know. Because I get the download drip exclusive from the mothership.
I used to believe astronomy. I took 4 years of astronomy in college. I was the best at it. All waste of time, all garbage, all lies. And I laughed at astrology. How can the position of Jupiter, a gassy planet, 25 million miles away or whatever the number is, affect my life. But when you realize that all of these luminaries, the stars and the wandering stars, are within the Earth system, they're energetic, pulsing. Well, when you zoom in on them, we have videos on the app that show you what planets and stars really look like. They're pulsing geometric shapes and colors, and they have their own personalities. I say they're sentient beings, sentient energies that are controlling us. They may be the projectors of our life. That may be where our souls come from. And the position of these things and relative to where we are, that has a huge effect over our life. Astrology makes way more sense on a flat enclosed Earth.
Okay. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm a learner, not a teacher. I don't profess to be a teacher. I profess to be a learner. I'm learning every day, and what I learn, I share. And but I appreciate it, and my mind is more open now than it was last time. But I never knock anybody, because who the hell am I, right?
Hey, Prime, I'm your buddy. We're on the same team, all right? I know that you may not have thought of that at the beginning. I'm on your team. I just want you to see. And you can tell me to go take a hike if you don't.
I would never say that. I'm a Christian.
If you want to get into the, the Bible part, have my co-host Matt Long on. His channel is on YouTube. Check him out. He has short Bible videos about flat Earth called Woke Town. One word, Woke Town.
Well, maybe you guys can come back together and we can do part 2. And this is a big one, man, because I want to know, where's the edge of the Earth? I mean, you said we can't get to the edge of the Earth because as we go out there, we get to Antarctica.
You get to Antarctica, and then who knows? It could be an endless plain. There's an old Japanese map that was found that showed like 50 other continents outside of the Antarctic ring, right?
Is there do you know about any black government projects that's trying to cover this up? That's been spoken about.
The secret space program. I think it's a secret propulsion program. They're just using advanced Tesla tech to fly around at great in ways that they don't want us to know about. They don't want us. They got rid of airships by having the Zeppelin crash, saying hydrogen is too expensive, too dangerous, and then NASA has bought up all the helium. So there's a helium shortage. So you can't have airships, because if you had an airship and a fan, a solar panel, you could go explore the outer spaces. But they don't want that, because if people had that ability, they would discover that we are being deceived on a level that is it's not even fathomable by most people's minds.
Let me just look in the chat room before we let me see, where is it? Yeah, people want. We're gonna have to do part 2, brother. He might. Janice, no, I will not say that. This is my friend. We don't talk like that to friends. Say hello. This is my friend. You got a lot of people who really agree with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. And this isn't the first time I heard it. I'm gonna tell you something else that you might not. HS Retoucher has also spoken about the flat Earth. I thought maybe he got hacked when he put that out, but I don't know.
I'd love to talk to him about it. I don't know his channel.
I'm not gonna tell you. That's the vice president, bro. You're not gonna talk to him.
I didn't. Here are a bunch of.
He might ask you some questions, but I think in terms of the Great Awakening and kind of revealing all the things that we've been lied to about, he mentioned that one time in a tweet, and I wasn't sure, was he hacked? Or was it real? You know what I'm saying? I've just heard so little about it that it's really just hard for me to just really get. I'm trying to get why. That's the real question I have, is why? Why the lie about flat?
To hide God. Bottom line, to hide God.
Hide God, huh? Well, I'm gonna meditate on that more so I can get some more understanding.
Nice.
Okay, so how can the people reach you, my brother?
The best way is to get my app. It's the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, available on iTunes and Google Play. You can just scan this right here, or just type in Flat Earth Clock. It'll come right up. $2.99. It's by Blue Water Bay. There's one knockoff out there for free. It's horrible. Don't send me emails saying the app sucks, because that's not my app. And my YouTube channel, you can go there. I have short videos. Like a 5-minute video is a long video from a DITRH. It's the initials for deep inside the rabbit hole. DITRH. Just go through those videos and bring food and water, because you're not going to stop once you start.
All right, my brother. All right, well, I gotta thank you, man, for coming through and, you know, helping to raise our conscious level, man, because this is a painful one, brother. This is painful.
This is painful because, you know, it's easy to deceive somebody. It's harder to convince them they've been deceived. But, you know, if you meditate on the actual heliocentric motions, you just go outside, sit down, and say, okay, I'm spinning faster than the speed of sound. I'm orbiting 66,000 miles an hour. That's unfathomable. I'm chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour, and I'm moving sideways at 1,000,000 miles per hour. You probably throw up while you're meditating. Open your eyes, shake that off, close your eyes, and now imagine yourself on the foundation, the solid foundation of the created world by a creator. And you are stationary, and you are protected, and you are special. You're gonna all of a sudden, it's gonna harmonize with your soul. Your soul knows the truth. Your conscious ego, programmed by the elite, all right, is, you know, the farther they take you away from the soul, the worse you feel, right? When you line up with your soul, everything starts to work out. Your manifestation powers get stronger. They don't want you to know that you alone can change the world with your thoughts. They don't want you to know that.
Can I ask you one humdinger?
You can ask me any. I'm waiting for humdinger. Go ahead.
This is a humdinger, and you know, I know you shared that at one point in time you did not believe in God at all.
Yeah.
And you break this down in a scientific way, and you say that the reason that we've been deceived about the flat earth is so that they can hide the true existence of God and his work, his handiwork in terms of creating the universe and mankind and everything. And then when it comes to the biblical piece, you say you don't get involved in the biblical piece. You leave that up to your partner. Now, here's my question. Here's my question to you, because you giving me all this information without the biblical piece. Mm-hmm. Why is that? And then what are we missing? I mean, what are we missing by not digesting this with the biblical piece? Because that might be what I need, and a lot of people might need to really grasp this.
By the way, on the app, if you click the little web button, it brings you to a page that has 15 different buttons, and one of them is Biblical Flat Earth. Hit that. There's a huge list of videos there. There's the biblical piece. It's not that I don't get into the biblical piece. I'm not the professional at it. I'm learning the biblical side. I learned the science side first. Here's what I used to do.
If you was anybody else, I would say sit your ass down, but you're my friend, so I would never say that to you.
So let me tell you how I was. I'd be listening to whatever researcher, you know, podcaster, and I'd be listening and I'd be taking notes. I got 3 pages of notes. I'm like, these guys are great. Then they'd mention the Bible or the Quran or Jesus, and I would tear up all the notes and I'd unsubscribe and I'd never listen to them again. That was me, because I'm like, oh, they're a religious fanatic. But now I lead with the science, and then I'm like, and it's in the Bible too. And then my co-host, he brings up the Bible stuff. I find that fascinating. I'm learning more and more about the Bible every day.
But here's the thing, and I tell people all the time. I broke this on Spiritually Raw when I first went on that program. And the thing is faith and science and the Great Awakening is going to come together. Science tells you how it works. Faith tells you why it works. You know what I'm saying? It gives it purpose. So my thing is, you know, to really grasp some real meat behind this. I mean, it's when you need to really understand why God created the earth flat.
I'm learning it. I'm learning it all. I'm with you 100%, brother. I'm learning every day. I'm never bored. For the last 6 years, I have not had a boring moment ever. If I have insomnia, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this is great. I got 5 hours before I have to talk to anybody. Okay. I can research. And I learn more every single day. There's a whole bunch of biblical flat earthers that I follow. I watch every video they put up, and I'm learning more and more. I'm not an expert at everything. I definitely have a lot more to learn, and the biblical side is super important. That's why my co-host, if you told me 6 years ago I'd be doing the Flat Earth podcast, crazy, with a co-host who is a strong Christian Bible.
Is this a real Operation Fishbowl?
Yeah, Fishbowl and Project Dominic. Okay, they were trying to blow a hole in the fishbowl, right? It's biblical beyond belief. Check out Rob's. Just check out the list, the biblical list on the app, man. You have an Android phone or an Apple phone?
I got an Android, but I thought I was done with that rabbit hole, and now I got to go in the rabbit hole again. Thanks to you.
I'm gonna send you a free download code for the app. All right.
For more trauma.
Oh God, trauma. Once you get it, literally, here's what happens.
I'm tired of rabbit holes, bro. I just want to get to Nasira and get me a big house and go and save the country and rebuild America.
This is how you get there. When you have your feet firmly planted on the God-created earth, you take your power back. When you have your power back, you can manifest. I'm manifesting things so fast in my life, it scares me sometimes. I'm my worst enemy. I'm the one that stops them from coming. It's amazing. When you know who you are, where you are, or what you are, you take your power back.
Amen. All right, my brother. Thank you. I'm going to go get me some sleep because I'm tired.
All right, Prime.
I salute you, my brother. Thank you, man. Any comments for my guests, man? Let me just see if we got women comments before we sign out. Spiritually Raw's in the building. Y'all crazy, man. Spiritually Raw. Yeah, today's scientists have changed. Man. That's too long. I need a short question, man. They said thanks.
Thanks everybody for listening. And if you think it's crazy, shoot me the reason that you think the earth is a ball. And it's not that I live in my mother's basement, that I'm a moron, that I have try educating myself. That's not a proof of the ball. Send me a proof of the ball and I'll send you $1,000. Okay. $1,000 for anyone that has one proof of the ball. Okay. I'd say 10,000, but you wouldn't believe me. But if you want 10,000, we'll make it 10,000. Nobody's got any because the earth isn't a ball.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
All right, man.
I salute you with the peace of God, brother.
All right. Thanks.
So until next time, we're going to have to schedule part 2.
All right. Anytime. You got my number.
All right.
Thanks.